Hey there, Lindsay Sparks here. This is How to Tame Your Dragon on the Profit and Loss. The profit and loss is your basic lemonade stand, okay? Where's your money come from? How much are you spending? And what's the bottom line? Let's get into it. Okay, so you fill out your profit and loss for the previous month. So on September 1st, when you sit down to fill out your profit and loss, you're filling it out for August. So you put August on the top, and basically your profit and loss, section 1 on the left side, that's going to be all of your expenses, and we'll break down what to put where in just a second. And then on the right side, it's going to be all of your income. So you put all of your income there, and then you do the math in section 4. So we'll keep this as simple as possible today. This form is the same if you're a real estate agent or a lender, so that makes it even easier. So starting in section 1. Section 1, like I said, on the left side, this is all of your expenses. There are 4 different sections that are a part of section 1. The first is office expenses. Office expenses is every bill that you have that's recurring in your business. So if you're part of the core, your core bill is recurring every month. That's part of your office expenses. You might have a phone bill. That's every month, and that would be under office expenses. Okay, so anything that repeats every month, office expense. The third section is miscellaneous expenses. These are for one-time expenses that came up August only. So let's say you threw a client appreciation party. That would go under miscellaneous expenses. And you would show that there. Anything else that came up as a one-time expense in August, you'd put that there. And the last section is personal expenses. Now you only use this section if you run those expenses through your company. So if you have some personal expenses that have to do with business, but you can't write them off, you don't qualify for that, you just pay them through your personal checking account, they do not go on your P&L. All right, if you are 1099, you can run them through your business, put them there in personal expenses. So you're going to total each individual section. So if you're coached, your coach can see how much you're spending in office expenses, how much in wages, etc. And then you're going to fill out the total of your section 1 as well. So that's the left side. It's pretty simple. You want to show everything that you are spending on your business in section 1. Section 2 is what we call outside revenue. So this is any revenue that comes into you outside of your Paylog commission. Some examples of that would be if you have a junior loan rep or a buyer agent and you make a commission off that person. That's considered section 2 outside revenue. If you bring in an application fee or credit card fees that you might charge a client, that would come in as section 2 outside revenue. Some real estate agents, if you refer someone and you collect a referral fee for that, that would also count as section 2 outside revenue. Section 3 is your personal revenue. This comes from your Paylog. So you're going to show how much commission you made off your Paylog that month. You're also going to show the number of units you had. Then you're going to divide number of units by the revenue to get your revenue per unit. And then we ask your total revenue, which, little trick there, that's just the same as what you already filled out for personal revenue from Paylog. So you put that all in there, and then section 4 is where you're going to bring it all together and do the math. So you've got your section 2 total, fill that in. You got your section 3 total, fill that in. For your total gross income, add the 2 together to get that number. Then it says subtract section 1 expenses. Write your section 1 total expenses on that line. And then taxable income is the math. You take your total gross income minus section 1 expenses to get your taxable income. If you are paid on a W-2, you stop there. You don't do the next step. If you're 1099, then yes, you need to take 25% for Uncle Sam. So you do the math, you figure out how much 25% is, and you set that aside in your tax account. So when the tax bill comes, boom, you've already got that money, you're ready to go. And then you show your after-tax income after you subtract that 25% out. So that's your basic left side expenses, right side income. Section 4 is the math. Now we can move to the bottom box. Now, if you are a W-2 loan rep, you are not going to fill out very much in this bottom box. I'll tell you what you need to fill out. You're going to need to fill out taxable income, and you just bring that down from section 4. You are going to fill out your profit, which is section 2 minus section 1. Now you might say, well, what the heck, Lindsay? That's a negative number. Yes, We realize that. So until you're bringing in outside revenue, that is going to be a negative number. But that's something we want to teach you here at the core, how to bring in enough outside revenue in order to cover your Section 1 expenses so that all of the commission you make off your pay log is in your pocket. So that number might be negative for a while, and that is okay. And then you're going to fill out the bottom 2 lines. Okay, you're going to start with the right. You're going to start with gross taxable paid to owner year to date. The owner is you. So all you're going to do there is add up your taxable income year to date. So take out your P&Ls from January, February, March, etc. Add up the taxable income, and that number goes right there. You're going to need that number to figure out your projected year-end gross taxable paid to owner. You take that year-to-date number, you divide it by the number of months. So here we're in August, so that would be 8, and you multiply it by 12. That gives you your projected year-end income. W-2 loan reps, that's all you got to do. Your P&L's done. There you go. If you're paid on a 1099, most likely if you're a real estate agent, you've got a little bit more work to do on the bottom here. You're going to fill out your company float balance. That's how much money you need to have in your company float. So typically, most people keep about 1 month's average Section 1 expenses in their company float. So you need to have an account for that. You keep about 1 month's worth of expenses in there. And that's where you tell us how much you've kept. Salary, if you pay yourself a salary, this is where you show us how much you paid yourself. You're also going to bring down your taxable income from Section 4. You're going to tell us your tax balance. So that account where you're keeping that 25% each month or however much you keep for your taxes, that's where you tell us how much is in that account that you have saved for your taxes. Profit, same thing. You take Section 2 minus Section 1, gives you your profit. Personal expenses run through the company. That's where you just tell us the total personal expenses you are writing off through your company this month. And then the bottom 2, you figure out the same way. The only difference for gross taxable paid to owner year to date, if you pay yourself a salary, you're going to add that salary into this number. So you're taking your taxable income year to date plus your salary year to date. And that's where you're going to get that gross taxable paid to owner year to date number. And again, then you plug it into the formula to get your projected year end, which is your gross taxable year to date divided by number of months multiplied by 12. We get a lot of questions on the P&L, and a lot of them are really for your coach to answer because they're specific to how you get paid through your company, what kind of expenses you get covered, and all of that. So most of the time, you're gonna have to ask your coach your questions on your P&L. If it's what goes where, what section do I put this in, what month does this come from, those kinds of questions, your concierge can answer it. So feel free, if you're in level 3, to reach out to your concierge or shoot an email over to support@thecoretraining.com if you're not. Have a great day.